Buckle up, everybody. Today we are diving into the world of business sustainability in Mexicali, Mexico.
Yeah.
And we're going deep, folks. No, but really, we're going deep because we have excerpts from a PhD thesis to guide us. So get ready, because this is no beach read.
And this isn't just someone sitting in an ivory tower, kicking around theories.
Okay.
This researcher actually went out there. They analyzed 8 real businesses in Mexicali to see how they measure up, how their practices actually stack up against sustainability goals.
Okay, so I'm already intrigued, but how do you even begin to, how do you measure a business's impact on a whole region? That just seems like, whoa, like a huge undertaking.
Right. It's super complex, but that's where this model comes in. It's called the Sustainable Business Model, the SBM. And it basically acts as a framework, right, to help us understand how a business operates. And not just how it operates, financially, but also, socially and environmentally, too.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a 3-pronged approach.
Right.
Looking at profit, looking at people, and looking at the planet.
Exactly. And the thesis argues that businesses, especially those small and medium enterprises, play a massive role in the sustainability of their region.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about, chasing profits anymore. It's about a more well-rounded approach. It's about finding that sweet spot where a business can thrive, but also benefit the entire community, and of course, minimize their environmental footprint.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's like a holistic approach to business, I guess. But how does this SBM work in practice? Is it do businesses get a checklist and they can measure their sustainability? How does that work?
It's way more nuanced than a checklist.
Okay.
The SBM breaks those 3 dimensions, so economic, social, environmental. It breaks those down into more specific components.
Okay.
So, for example, on the environmental side, it's going to look at things like energy use, waste management, and even a business's impact on the surrounding environment.
So it really gets into the nitty-gritty of how a business operates on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, totally. It's about the details.
Yeah. And
get this, the researcher actually used Google Earth images to visually see how these companies impacted the landscape around them over time.
Wait, Google Earth, that's actually really clever. Did anything stand out when you were looking at the images?
It was pretty surprising, actually. We tend to think about sustainability as reducing negative impact, right?
Right.
But some of these businesses, they were going above and beyond. For example, there's a restaurant that went all in on solar energy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were significantly reducing their reliance on traditional power.
A restaurant going solar in Mexicali, that's not something you hear every day. It really shows that you can find sustainability in the most unexpected places.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes this research so cool. It's like a spotlight on the diverse ways that businesses are approaching this whole sustainability thing. And it's real. It's having a real impact.
Okay, a solar-powered restaurant in Mexicali. I'm ready for more of these curveballs. What other businesses were kind of surprising?
All right, so this one might not sound as, visually dramatic as solar panels. But there was this company specializing in decorative items, and that really caught my eye.
Decorative items. Now, that's not an industry that screams sustainability at first glance.
Right, exactly. But they were doing some really interesting things, like sourcing a good chunk, a significant amount of their materials locally.
Oh, interesting.
As they were supporting artisans in the area and cutting back on all that long-distance transportation.
Makes sense.
Which is huge. That minimizes their carbon footprint while giving a boost to the local economy at the same time. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right? A win for the environment, a win for the people. Speaking to that whole SBM thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. So how did this SBM, this model, help the researcher kind of evaluate the social impact side of these businesses?
The SBM, it looks at stuff like employee well-being, fair wages, and how much a business is engaging with the community. And one case study was really interesting. It was this manufacturing plant, right? They scored crazy high in employee well-being, but their environmental practices, not so much.
It's like a textbook example, right, of how hard it is to get those 3 elements of sustainability, to get all 3 balanced. Did any of the businesses actually manage to, hit a home run across the board?
Oh, yeah. One of the standouts, it was actually a hospital in Mexicali. And they really took this concept of green spaces, seriously took it to a whole new level.
Hospitals and green spaces, it kind of seems like a no-brainer, especially in a city like Mexicali.
Right. But this was different. The researchers' analysis, using the SBM, it highlighted how they went so far beyond just basic landscaping. They invested in planting a ton of trees, creating these amazing gardens on the hospital grounds. And that does so much, it fights the urban heat island effect, which is huge in a city.
Right.
but it also creates this healing, more restorative environment. And that's for the patients, but also for the staff.
So they're tackling multiple parts of sustainability at the same time,
Yeah.
right? Improving the local environment, bumping up well-being. And I'm guessing all those green spaces probably help reduce energy consumption too because of,
Yeah.
the natural cooling effects. Did they talk about how the businesses felt about like getting this SBM evaluation? Were they receptive to it?
You know, the thesis doesn't really dig into their reactions, but it does emphasize how the SBM, it's not meant to be like a gotcha tool.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not about making anyone feel bad or pointing fingers.
For sure not. Like, the whole point of the SBM is to be constructive. It's supposed to encourage businesses, give them a way to, like, see what they're doing well and maybe where there's room for improvement, right? Consider it more like a roadmap to get to more sustainable practices, not like a judging kind of thing.
It's cool how the SBM can help businesses see where they could make changes, without being all doom and gloom. Seems like it could be useful for any business out there. It doesn't have to be Mexicali, right?
Well, absolutely. It's like it gives you a way to really look at what you're doing, at your business. Analyze your practices, figure out your impact. And then from there, you can find those opportunities, those places where you can make a real positive change. And the fact that it considers like all of it, economic, social, environmental, it's so key for sustainability that actually lasts,
Yeah.
you know?
It's more than just checking off boxes. You're really looking at the big picture. It's like, how does your business actually operate within a larger system? Like you're a part of something bigger.
Exactly. And that actually brings us to something really important. So the thesis, it's all about existing businesses, right? But like, imagine if we brought this SBM thinking to the table right from the start, from the ground up.
You mean like when you're building a new business, like from its inception?
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine new businesses in Mexicali, heck, anywhere really. What if they use these principles, this SBM from day one, worked it into their plans, how they run things, even their physical spaces? They'd be starting off on the right foot,
For sure. Instead of trying to like shoehorn in sustainability later, they'd be building it in from the very beginning. That's a really cool idea.
Right. It's not just about like minimizing the bad stuff. It's about creating something better, something more sustainable right from the get-go. It's something for all of us to think about. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, an investor, or just someone who cares about this planet.
Definitely. Supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability, that's on all of us. So, we're kind of coming to the end of our deep dive here. What's the one thing you really hope listeners take away from all of this?
For me, it's that sustainability. It's not this far-off dream. It's not someone else's problem to solve. Like, it's a journey. And any business, no matter how big or small, no matter what they do, they can get on board with this. And, using tools like that SPM, well, that can give them a map.
Sure.
It can help them get where they need to be.
It's realizing that what we do today, the choices that we're making in business and beyond those choices matter. They affect everyone. They're shaping the future, not just in Mexicali, but everywhere.
Exactly. And hey, who knows? Maybe someone listening to this right now, maybe they'll feel inspired,
Sure.
inspired to stand up, to fight for sustainability in their own ventures, in their own communities. Change, it starts with us. It's closer than you think.
I like that. Change is closer than you think. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into the world of sustainable businesses in Mexicali. This has been really eye-opening. And to everyone listening, until next time, keep those questions coming, stay curious, and let's all keep working towards a better, more sustainable future together.